What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. It is the 7th day of December, and here we are sitting at about half a cent right now, with 0.0053 being the price. 7 hours, 45 minutes left in this week. Yes, this week, things are looking interesting, my friends. We go on the daily time frame. We've had a nice little pump. We're up 10% on the day, and while it is disappointing because this wick has, it's pretty big. We have given back a good bit. We're still up 10% on the day. I think it'd be hilarious if literally over the last 2 days, 3 days, I've been calling for, and I think even the last 5 days, I've been calling for lower lows. I would love it if that was my legacy. I would love it. I genuinely would. Wouldn't it be ironic as hell? I'm like one of the most bullish people on XCN in the crypto space, and I was saying we're going to see a lower low here, and that was the low, and then we start to recover. I would love it. I would love it. Because if I'm wrong there, we're making a ton of money. But the thing is with this pump, it is more or less the exact same thing that we've seen since April, right? It could just be a fake pump. This might give more rationality, more premise behind why we go lower. But also kind of in this weird dichotomy of statistical probabilities here, it's also more possible now that this is a double bottom. Because we had the nice reaction. We had the volume come in. It's more possible today than it has been over the past week that this is a double bottom because of the reaction we're having now. So it's kind of an interesting play that we're working with here. But hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about this. We'll look at the short-term stuff and then we'll zoom out. I want to look at the weekly time frame real quick though and just point out that again, we actually haven't seen any kind of week like this where we've had a tweezer bottom. Not at all throughout this whole time. This is a really good signal. This is actually a really, really good signal. And we could have this. We could close here. This week could come up. We're down 5%. We could come up in the next 7 hours and 44 minutes and close this week green. We could close this week at a higher high than what we're at here even and still come lower. Okay? But closing here or higher does give this thought of a tweezer bottom. And I mean, at the lows like this where we have weekly bullish divergence on our MACD, we have bullish divergence on our weekly stochastics, we're oversold beyond all belief on the weekly RSI like we haven't been before. I mean, we've been oversold at the very end of the bear market like this. It's just been a long time. We're clearly at good areas to accumulate. You're right here, right there, right here at prior areas of resistance, finding support right there. And our XCN BTC chart, XCN BTC. Man, before we get into the short-term stuff, there's one more thing that I want to talk about too. I'm remembering now. XCN BTC chart here, finding support at prior resistance. Weekly chart here, bullish divergence on the MACD. Bullish divergence on the MACD here. Bullish divergence on the stochastics here. Bullish divergence on the RSI here. All of them giving us higher lows, all of them giving us lower lows with the price. So lower lows with the price at prior resistance for support, bullish divergence, and on top of that, bullish divergence on every indicator on the weekly time frame. On top of that, you're finding support at the golden ratio. There's just no scenario where I don't see OnyxCoin getting some type of, at least at a minimum, a standard retracement. I think we're at a macro low. I think we're at a significant macro low of which the next move then would imply that we see a higher high. Okay, which means from here, at a bare bones minimum, we're expecting something that is above this high, which means that something that's greater than a 9x move. Maybe it's a 14x move, maybe it's a 20-something x move. We're expecting big things here. Okay, but at a bare minimum, at least a standard retracement, right? A standard retracement typically is the 382. And if this is the low, the 382 is right here at about 1.14 cents from the current price. That is about 115%. It's very common to wick just above there. We have prior support here, prior resistance there. So maybe a standard retracement would be something on the lines of like 130, 150% move from here. Just a standard retracement. That's a 2.5x move that we're talking about, okay? Again, if you've sold it all over the past 3 or 4 weeks, even over the past 5 weeks, hell, even over the past 7 weeks, you're going to regret it here probably very soon. We're set up. We're very set up, right? And I think this is not a far stretch of the imagination to make at all, right? A lower high here. It's really not that hard to imagine that something like that happens. I'm trying to draw this line best. Maybe we'd probably a move up to this 382 would even break this trend line. Now you can break this trend line and still go lower, right? We broke this trend line here and we still went lower, right? You can have a trend line here and you can break that to the downside. You don't have to hold these trend lines. You know what I mean? Here, you broke this trend line right here. You broke that trend line and you still came back down and went a little bit lower. You had a higher low overall, but you still went lower. All I'm trying to say is a standard retracement would be something around here. But if we take into account the XCN BTC here, typically at a minimum what you'd expect to see would be something at the 0.5, but typically you would pull back to the 382 or somewhere in between. And I would think that we go, either from here, 60% move, to here, a 90% move, or maybe all the way back to the 382, which is a 120% move. If XCN versus BTC moves up here or higher, this move, then if XCN versus BTC is up 120%, XCN USD would be more like 150% or 180%. We'd be up even higher. And once we get above this 1.5 cent, 1.4 cent area, we're breaking out of this downtrend. We have higher highs officially for the first time since January. And that would very much imply that we're starting a new trend, that we are continuing higher, and we will see these extensions overall, which again, the minimum target, if we were to see new highs, the minimum target would be a 17x from here, let alone the 21 cent target, which is all the way up about a 40x from here. I do believe these will happen. I do believe this will happen probably in Q1 of 2026, but we'll see. Time will tell. And I think that we'll see a nice reactive move. We'll probably pump 100% or more between now and the end of this month of December as well. So I think that there's some big stuff going on with XCN. But let's talk about the short-term stuff. We went on the long-term stuff immediately. A lot of volume here on the 1 hour. A lot of volume. Looks like buying pressure, right? A lot of buying pressure. Look at the 15-minute time frame. There's a little bit of selling pressure there at the top, but that's a lot of those are some solid candle bodies, you guys. That's a lot of buying pressure there. Where do we hold support here? Let's take this. Should I do the 1 hour? We'll do the 1 hour. We'll take a low to a high. Kind of an odd area. Maybe you're respecting this low. Looks a little bit normal, a little bit more normal here, but still kind of odd. But it's odd. Whenever you have low liquidity and you get a lot of volume in it, you're going to get odd price action as well. 1 hour time frame, the RSI, in all honesty, looks bullish here. The stochastics look bearish. Wow, such an odd reaction here. Really weird. The stochastics do look a little bit bearish here. I'm going to, just looking at it here. I don't know if you guys can hear my little toddler, or my little baby crying. She's 4 months old. She'll be okay, though. That was my toddler running. She's checking on her little sister. She's so cute. Really, she's just saying good morning. She likes saying good morning. But anyways, stochastics. The stochastics are weird. At this point, I actually wouldn't even say they're bearish. I would say they're weird. They're just weird. The RSI is bullish. The MACD is also bullish, but it's the 1 hour time frame, so who cares? So really an overall kind of neutral play here, even with this selling off. Do be apprehensive, do be open-minded. Every time we do these pumps, we typically go lower. It's not that we have to be bullish here if we're going to go up to 1 cent and beyond, or 2 cents and beyond, or all the way up to 21 cents. No, we can go lower and still be bullish, okay? In fact, technically, statistically speaking, it would be more probable that we go lower. But the 1 hour doesn't make me want to call for that, to be completely fair. The 4 hour time frame also has some bullish implications, bouncing off the 50 after rejecting the overboughts, and that's a bullish look right there. Bullish on the stochastics as well. I don't like that we couldn't get overbought. It's kind of sad and pathetic. The stochastics on the 4 hour are beat up, but we are bullish here with this cross right here, bouncing off the oversold zone. The bulls have answered. And the MACD is about to cross above the 0, which we haven't done since back here, whenever we had a nice little pump as well, which actually did result in technically a higher low or a double bottom. I don't know. It didn't push us to lower lows, at least last time. I don't know. I was a little bit hopeful on this pump. I'm a little bit hopeful on this one. The hopes and dreams for OnyxCoin tend to get you nowhere, though, so do be open-minded and accepting of getting your heart broken, because we very well could go lower. But I think the call's different now. I think I am going to call for a low, where over the last 3 to 5 days I've been saying that we would see lower lows. I think this is enough for me to rethink things. Hopefully I'm not just buying the pump and FOMOing in here, but I do think, and I'm not FOMOing, and I'm not buying more right now. I've already got a lot of OnyxCoin. I'm not buying any more. I'm just FOMOing in with my emotional perspective, my bias, that's saying that we're going to go higher. Hopefully we do move up from here. And I think getting a high, getting any kind of price above here, above 00685, will be very, very validating to the thought that this is a double bottom. We'll see. Okay, that's an important area to watch right now, is this area right here. 00685, maybe this area is more important, maybe 00738 is, but I would say 00685 is more important right now. And then the next important area after that is this level up here at 0.0134, or sorry, 1.0134. Not 1.3 cents. And then after that, it's 2 cents. And then after that, man, all we're thinking about is really 10 cents and beyond. We're just a few dominoes away. And again, I have 3 lines on here. I really think that this line's actually more important, the 0.0685 line. But we'll see. Time will tell. Call me crazy, call me a dreamer. It hasn't been right any of these prior months, but I'm getting a little bit of hope here. Might be delirious. I'm getting a little bit of hope here. We'll see. Went from being bearish at the lows, calling for lower lows, to now I'm bullish here, guys. I am bullish here, I will say. And we'll see. I am bullish, even with people like Economic Ninja selling out of his OnyxCoin position and promoting reactive, right? Some people, and I didn't go through the comment section, but he made a video today talking about why, and I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen it, why he sold his OnyxCoin for reactive. Economic Ninja, probably the largest YouTuber that's ever talked about OnyxCoin as far as like genuine dedicated videos goes. Him selling out and then promoting another coin, some people might have different feelings about that, right? I don't think, and I didn't read any comments, but I've done this stuff before, so I can only assume he's getting comments like this. There's going to be people who say, you're just trying to take attention away from OnyxCoin and put it all into reactive. You're trying to get people to buy your coin and take away. That's so shady. But then if he didn't make a video explaining why he sold OnyxCoin or why he bought reactive, if he didn't make a video about that, people would be like, you're not being transparent. You're not telling us enough. So no matter what, as a content creator, just understand you can't win. People are going to be upset with you no matter what, and I think he knows that. But in his video where he talks about how he's selling OnyxCoin, or where he sold his OnyxCoin, and he basically says, I think that he moved it all into reactive. He talks about all the positives with OnyxCoin too. He talks about why he liked it, why he thinks it's a good project, why it'll probably recover. Like he didn't say anything bad about OnyxCoin. He just said that he had his own reasons why he doesn't feel comfortable investing in it. And one of those primary reasons, one of the reasons he actually didn't say, because he thinks it'll come true, and he's like that might actually be a point at which we get back in OnyxCoin. He even said that. He talked about getting back in OnyxCoin on his video, first off. So he's not generating hate toward OnyxCoin. If anybody's saying that or has said that, just understand you're just upset because he's not on your side anymore. But he's on your side. That's the thing. Economic Ninja, Crypto Future, Crypto Archie, most of these people in the space, they want you to make money. They are on your side. They're just trying to help. They're giving you a voice. They're giving you an opinion of what they're seeing. People who are normally successful in the space, just trying to help you find your own success too. So it all comes from a place of love. So before you go spreading hate or anything, just understand he actually said a lot of positive things about OnyxCoin. And one of his reasons why he didn't feel comfortable investing in it, I think, is a very adequate reason. But it's not my reason. It might not be your reason. His reason was, and it sounds like a big reason, he's tried to interview, he's tried to talk to these people who are behind OnyxCoin, the developers and stuff, and nobody wants to meet with him. There's no transparency there. We don't know who the DAO is, who these people are. That, for Economic Ninja, and for maybe a lot of you, is a big reason why you don't feel comfortable investing in OnyxCoin. For me, it's a huge reason why I'm dramatically confident in investing in OnyxCoin. I think detaching the human, the human perspective, the human obstacle from a project, I think is brilliant. The most successful cryptocurrency in the world is Bitcoin. Nobody knows who made it. Nobody knows. And obviously somebody knows. Someone has to know. It's just not for the public to know. Same thing with OnyxCoin. There's people who know who are behind OnyxCoin. It's probably not that hard to figure out, or if you're plugged into the space, you probably could even get their names, right? But like people know there are people in the world who know who's behind OnyxCoin, but the public doesn't know that. And I think that's a good thing. Because like with Tesla, back whenever Elon Musk was supporting Trump and he was at the rally and they succeeded and he said, my heart goes out to you, and he got the whole Nazi thing. Tesla's stock dumped. We saw the Tesla, because Elon Musk, whether you like him or love him, that was a bad look. And people reacted poorly to that. And beyond that, there's other things too, but anything negative with Elon Musk, he gets sued by the SEC, he gets whatever, that has a negative impact on the stock. Even if it has nothing to do with Tesla itself, it has a negative impact on the stock. Human beings are not perfect. So the fact that we don't have human beings behind this protocol, or sorry, there are human beings that are not publicly known, it's anonymous, I actually kind of like that. I like that, honestly. Sure, there's a part of me that's curious to know who these people are, but what if that doesn't matter? What if they're developing a project, something that is coded, that is built for institutional money, and then one week they're out and they get they get a DUI or a hit and run or something, right? And now the crypto drops because it has nothing to do with the blockchain, it has nothing to do with OnyxCoin, but because the people behind it have some bad PR, right? That hurts the investors. I think it's actually good that we don't know. Personally, I think it's good. I have no problem with that. And if you do have a problem with that, I'm assuming you probably have a problem with Bitcoin too, right? Because Bitcoin, nobody knows who Satoshi is, right? This must be a Ponzi, right? That's just my logic. And all I'm trying to say here, what I'm really trying to say, and I'm getting away from the topic, is so what? Economic Ninja sold. So what? That's his right. That's your right. That's my right. The only difference is he has a lot of subscribers on YouTube, so people can throw hate at him if they want to, right? Where they can't throw hate at you because you're behind a screen. You're faceless. You're not someone who's publicly known. It's his decision, and if he thinks Reactive is a good investment, he's a successful investor. Maybe some people should listen. Maybe I haven't invested in Reactive myself. I don't know much about it, but where for him, I think, and I watched his video today, so I know he says that he's in communications with the CEO or the person who's behind the project of Reactive. That might provide more comfort. That might provide more comfort in your investment. I'm in good communication with the people who are behind Moonrocks, and that makes me feel confident in this, right? It's not just some low cap random meme coin to me. Like, I actually know and have faith in the team because I actually know them. So I get that perspective. But it's a perspective that I'm entitled to, that he's entitled to, that you're entitled to, and we all make our own decisions. I think I don't know when Economic Ninja sold. I don't know when he actually sold out of OnyxCoin completely. And this is not about him at all. This is just about anybody who sold here. I think anybody who sold here between the month of like November to now, I think soon enough, by the end of this month, you're going to deeply regret it, because I think we're probably going to see a 100% move. And there was something else. He said something else. There was a second reason that he would get back into OnyxCoin. The first one was if there was transparency from the team. The second reason, he said, I'm not going to say it because if it happens, I'll get back in. I'm wondering if it's the mainnet. I'm wondering if Goliath mainnet comes online. Because he's got to know, like all of us know, that that's going to be a big deal. And regardless if you know who's behind it or not, the mainnet coming online, it shows that it just shows that they're actually working on something, and they fulfill their promises, and that reacts well for any project as far as investors go. But I'm talking so much now. I'm ready to end this video, so I'm probably going to do that. I've got some things I've got to get ready for. So hit that like button, subscribe. Shout out to Economic Ninja. Fuck the haters, man. If they throw any hate at you, whatever. And he already knows this, but you guys should know this too. We are all entitled to make our own investment decisions, right? I wish I sold OnyxCoin up here. I wish I sold it up here. Hell, at this point, I wish I sold it back whenever Justin Sun called it a scam, or called them out for bad trading purposes or manipulation in prices. Yeah, Justin Sun and CZ were all upset that this was manipulating the price, right? That they don't manipulate anything. No. That definitely doesn't happen at all. Guys, the US dollar is manipulated. Everything's manipulated, right? There's absolutely some manipulation going on back here. I have no doubt in my mind. But that was good manipulation, right? You can hate it now. You loved it back then. You know what I mean? We're probably going to get some good manipulation here pretty soon, too. I don't care. Manipulate it some more, Onyx Dow. Do it. Send it through the roof, please. It's going to happen at some point. And I had a point that I was trying to make at the end there, but whatever. I'm rambling. I'm drifting off. All I'm trying to say is we're all entitled to our own decisions, and it's okay. Any of us who are holding OnyxCoin now retrospectively wishes that we sold at higher prices so we could probably buy more here. You know what I mean? It's okay to sell, and it's okay to invest in other projects. I don't think it's a good time to sell here, though. I think if you really want to get out of OnyxCoin, I think if you're like, dude, I'm tired, I want to get out, I would at least wait for this standard retracement back to like 1.3, 1.1, 1.5 cents or higher. I'd at least wait for that, because that's probably going to happen here pretty soon, and it'll probably happen just like this. It'll be very, very quick. It'll be a very, very quick maneuver, just like this, because we have all this weekly bullish divergence on every single indicator versus Bitcoin. We're at very dramatic areas of support on the XCN versus Bitcoin chart. Same thing on the US dollar chart. We've got this potential double bottom set up here. I don't know, this too, to me, it does feel a little bit different. This little pump and dump here, it does feel a little bit different. I said the same thing, let's be clear. I said the same thing about this one over here too. And to be completely fair, this one was different. We didn't get a lower low. We got a double bottom. I don't know, we'll see. Actually, look at that. There's more volume here on this spike than there was over on these spikes. But we have less volume on the day because it's less consistent volume. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.